She was dismissed, ignored, and told she didn't belong. But when the skies trembled under the roar of F-22s, it was her calm voice on the radio that turned panic into precision. How did the officer they underestimated become the one controlling the most advanced fighter jets in the world? The command center was buzzing, a symphony of beeping consoles, urgent chatter, and flashing screens. She stepped inside, head held high, but every pair of eyes seemed to narrow as if questioning why she was even there. "You don't belong here," one officer muttered under his breath, loud enough for others to catch. It wasn't just skepticism, it was a conviction that she was in the wrong place, at the wrong time. She had trained for years, sacrificed nights, endured grueling simulations, and memorized protocols that most seasoned pilots hadn't touched in months. Yet here she was, being ordered out of the very operations room she had earned a place in. "Step aside," a voice barked. "Let the men handle this." Her stomach nodded, but she refused to react the way they expected. No anger, no tears. Only the calm determination of someone who knew she could turn this moment into a defining one. Her mind raced as she stepped back, pretending compliance. Outside, the hangars echoed with the deep hum of F-22 engines, the elite jets ready to respond at a moment's notice. The officers around her whispered, doubting she could contribute anything meaningful. But she had a plan, a rapid, untested strategy to manage the aerial assault, a plan she had rehearsed in simulations that had made even top instructors sit up in surprise. In those fleeting minutes of dismissal, she scanned the room, taking in the chaos, blinking radar screens, maps covered in red markers, flight paths crisscrossing like tangled threads. Most saw a mess, she saw patterns. She quietly calculated vectors, predicting where threats would converge, and considered which pilots could execute the maneuvers she envisioned. Her confidence was silent but unwavering. This wasn't the moment to argue, it was the moment to observe, plan, and act. As the lead officer barked orders, she noticed the hesitation creeping into his voice. The tension in the room thickened. Every person in the room was scrambling, trying to stay ahead of the situation, but nobody had the clarity to see the solution forming in her mind. She took a slow breath and reminded herself, being underestimated was an advantage. No one would see her next move coming. By the time the officer finally glanced her way, she had already begun issuing subtle suggestions, careful not to overstep. Redirect the eastern squadron to intercept at the 12-mile mark, adjust altitude by 500 feet, maintain a 2-minute stagger, she murmured, almost under her breath. The room paused. Heads turned. Someone whispered, incredulous, "How did she see that?" And just like that, the shift began. The room had fallen into a tentative silence, broken only by the hum of consoles and the distant roar of jets warming up on the tarmac. She had their attention now, not by title, rank, or title, but by clarity. Her suggestions were precise, calculated, and impossible to ignore. In those critical moments, the difference between hesitation and action could mean catastrophe. She leaned over the central tactical display, tracing flight paths with a steady finger. Every blip on the radar represented not just a machine, but a life depending on split-second decisions. "We'll stagger their approach," she said firmly. "Maximize coverage, minimize overlap. Pilots 3 and 4, cover the eastern flank, keep them at 1,000-foot altitude difference. Maintain radio silence until the engagement point." Her voice carried authority, calm and controlled, cutting through the tension like a scalpel. The officers exchanged glances. Some resisted, clinging to protocol, unwilling to accept input from someone they'd just dismissed. But her strategy left no room for debate. She anticipated every variable, weather shifts, radar interference, fuel limitations, and the enemy's likely maneuvers. She had run these scenarios countless times in simulations, but now, it wasn't theory, it was reality, and lives were at stake. She coordinated with the pilots, assigning them tasks with confidence and precision. Delta Squadron, maintain tight formation but be ready to break left on my mark. Echo Squadron, altitude 25,000, vector north, watch for flanking maneuvers. Timing is everything, synchronize watches. Each instruction was delivered with authority, yet with an unspoken awareness of the weight on each pilot's shoulders. As the operation room adjusted to her command, her mind raced ahead to contingencies. If radar failed, she had a visual plan. If communications jammed, she had pre-assigned signals. She calculated the exact moment the F-22s would intersect the threat's flight path, leaving no margin for error. Her confidence wasn't arrogance. It was preparation forged in the fires of relentless training and overlooked skill. Outside, the jets idled, their pilots waiting for confirmation, trusting the unseen hand guiding them. Inside, the room shifted from skepticism to focus. Even those who had mocked her, dismissed her, or doubted her capabilities began to follow her lead, albeit reluctantly. Her presence became magnetic, her strategy undeniable. In that tense calm before the storm, she was not just participating, she was orchestrating, turning chaos into a precise, lethal symphony. For the first time, she allowed herself a fleeting thought. They may have underestimated her, but soon, everyone would know exactly who was in command. The operation was about to begin, and the skies would soon answer to her. The hangar doors roared open as the F-22s sliced into the sky, their engines a deep, thunderous growl that seemed to shake the very ground. From the command center, she tracked their ascent, eyes scanning the radar, ears tuned to the pilot's calm but tense responses. Every decision, every command she issued, carried weight measured in miles and seconds. Alpha Squadron, maintain heading 270. Delta, prepare to engage on my mark. Echo, hold altitude. Watch the northern corridor, she called out, her voice firm but steady. Each pilot acknowledged in clipped, precise tones. The room had become a hive of synchronized focus, all directed by the one person they had once dismissed. Her presence commanded the airspace even without stepping into a cockpit herself. Moments later, the first blips of the incoming threat appeared on radar. Her mind raced, recalculating vectors, factoring in speed, altitude, and timing. The enemy jets were faster than expected, but she anticipated their maneuver before the first missile warning flashed. Engage at 25,000 feet. Lead with Echo, flank left. Timing, 0003, she instructed, every word precise, every instruction calculated. Outside, the pilots executed her commands flawlessly. The F-22s twisted, banked, and dove in a deadly dance, a choreography she had orchestrated in seconds. In the control room, some of the most skeptical officers watched in stunned silence as their earlier doubts crumbled. The dismissed officer, the one they had scoffed at, was now the guiding hand of the mission, every action proving her strategic genius. As the enemy jets fell into her carefully set traps, she maintained her calm, adjusting commands as new data appeared. Delta, cut north. Alpha, cover your 6. Maintain visual contact, do not break formation. Each correction was seamless, a testament to her preparation and ability to think clearly under extreme pressure. Lives depended on her judgment, and she did not falter. Finally, the engagement concluded. The enemy jets were neutralized, the mission executed with near-perfect precision. The room erupted into quiet, shocked awe. Officers who had once ordered her out now looked at her with newfound respect. She allowed herself a small, quiet smile. She didn't need their approval, but seeing them recognize her skill confirmed what she had always known. Capability was not measured by recognition, but by action. In the skies above, the F-22s cut through the clouds, engines fading into the distance, a testament to the silent, brilliant command that had guided them. On the ground, she returned her focus to the command center, eyes scanning the displays, already anticipating the next challenge. They had underestimated her, but she had proven herself, not with defiance, but with results. And from this moment on, she was no longer just an officer in the room. She was the force they could not ignore.